So Radharaja, I've noticed as I've traveled around the world and also kept in contact with devotees around the world, there are so many devotees who are suffering from different types of cancer, everything from prostate cancer, of course with the women, the standard ovarian cancer, breast cancer, brain cancer, you name it. So this causes me great concern. And I know you've written books, especially about prostate cancer, and I have one of your books here, that delineate the causes of these cancers and what to do, how to prevent them. So I'd like to hear from you about these things.
Actually, yeah, I want to show you one graphic in that book, which is this one. It's like cancer cells always occur in our body. That's very natural, and we usually can get rid of them. So it depends really if we feed these cancer cells and let them grow and multiply, or if we destroy or keep these cancer cells at bay, if we develop cancer or not. And this is a process that can take years or decades, really. So there are many, many factors that influence the process or make the milieu or the feeding broth of cancer. You have smoking, you have alcohol, which we don't do. You can have traumata on the mental plane. Stress or lack of sleep is an important one. You have like chronic infections, bacteria or viruses that cause it, or parasites. You have toxins, like metals. Aluminum is a xenoestrogen, very important with breast cancer. You have arsenic, which you get in Mayapur from the water. You have copper. You have iron to a lower degree.
Well, wait a second, you mentioned copper. I've heard devotees recommend that you keep water in a copper vessel overnight before you drink it.
Yeah, that's definitely a mistake. That made sense in India where you didn't have any copper in the food, or you didn't have copper pipes at your home. But we usually have too much copper, and it's an estrogen, a metalloestrogen, and it increases cancer risk. And you have all these other xenoestrogens like bisphenol A in plastic and many other places. You have radiation, but in the first place you have food.
What type of food?
You have food that stops cancer, which you can see in Asia. They have a diet which is very rich in vegetables or soy, and very low in fat or animal protein. And you have a diet that's, actually Asian diet used to be very low in sugar also. And you have dietary patterns that are perfectly for growing cancer. You see that actually in India very well, like in rural India, the cancer rate is still very low. But the richer they get, the more they start to eat dairy and sugar. If you go to the cities, the metropolitans like Delhi and so on, usually the people are 1 or 2 heads higher than on the countryside because they ate a lot more things that instigated growth. But the growth doesn't only go that way, it also goes this way. And it also means that cells that turned malignant grow. They are fed very well. This is not just a kind of a thing I made up. That's very strong science that shows the correlation between body height and cancer. So feeding is important, but not feeding too much. And what we can see with the diet of Western devotees, they grew up on milk products and sugar. And this combination triggers a lot of insulin release, and it triggers a lot of IGF-1, which is like insulin growth factor-like molecules. These growth factors promote growth on all levels: body height, cellular growth, cancer growth. That's very clearly shown with prostate cancer. It's well shown with other cancers also. So the sugar alone is bad, but not so bad. If you combine it with milk products, it turns really toxic in the way that it's the perfect way to promote growth.
But what about all these wonderful milk sweets we're getting? I mean, we're offering them to the deities, Mahaprasadam. What should we do? I mean...
Yeah, eat them once a week, one of them, but don't...
One of them?
Don't live on Mahaprasad. That only Krishna can digest, really.
I mean, I remember eating for breakfast every morning, like halva with a sweet rice lake inside it, and then drinking gulab juice as my drink.
Yeah. And you have the other ones, the savory ones, who just live from from Premier sabjis. It's a big problem. It's very bad in that way, and it's proven clearly with very good studies.
But we need to eat tasty
Also,
food.
actually, ovarian cancer. That's a very common one triggered by
We
dairy.
need to eat tasty food. I mean,
Yeah.
this is
Well,
too much austerity.
No, it only feels like that in the beginning, really. I mean, you went on cold turkey from cheese, you survived it, and you're still more happy than ever before. So it works. It requires some determination, and you need to find good replacements, which are there. But it is very important, and you start by really cutting down, normalizing your milk consumption to like 100, max 200 milliliters, and you cut out all of that concentrated stuff like paneer and sandesh. Dairy or milk products also bring saturated fats, which are known to increase breast cancer risk. They also bring hormones, estrogen and progesterone. We still have that romantic idea of milk, which we read in Krishna book. Milk is produced nowadays in a very, very, very different way.
Mm-hmm.
I just met a veterinary from the cheer production. A cow nowadays lives from 1 to 3 pregnancies. They're permanently pregnant. They're permanently under hormones. The milk is permanently filled with high loads of estrogen and progesterone, which make breast cancer and contribute to prostate cancer. And they are killed after that because they are so stressed to give these 50, 60 liters of milk nowadays that they just, after 3 pregnancies max, they are through. Cows used to live like at least 7, 8, 10 years. Now they live like 3
No, actually,
years.
17, 18 years cows.
That's their normal lifespan,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about like 50 years ago, they maybe turned 7 years. Now we are down to 3 years. And it's not only unethical, I think, personally, but it is clear that the food coming, just look at the food they get. I mean, it has nothing to do with the original cow diet. And of course, that reflects in the quality of milk. And you can see that in the explosion of cancers. And it's a fact that devotees usually eat even a lot more milk products than normal people, because they replace all the other animal stuff like sausages and meat by cheese. And we see they are doing really bad on it. And, well, that's one of the big ones. There are a lot of other ones, of course. Once you have cancer, you should look into root canals. Root canals are a contributing cause, because it's like a chronic bacterial focus. You should look into dental toxins like mercury and so many factors. If you have an aggressive cancer, it's getting complex. That's why there's one very important message for anyone is, first, find really out what kind of cancer you have, how aggressive it is, because the approach is very different. The more aggressive your cancer is, the more normal medicine will help you really well. Super aggressive cancers usually react really well on chemotherapy and all that stuff, whilst slow-growing cancers don't. Like, it doesn't make sense to treat a prostate cancer with chemotherapy or whatever grows slowly. There you can work very well with dietary changes and lifestyle changes, exercise and changing in diet. Low-fat diet with plants only, low sugar, and no animal products of any kind except maybe a little honey.
Good.
So yeah, it's paining my heart also, because I've seen so many devotees doing really the wrong thing at the wrong time and doing the right thing when it's too late. When it's too late, it's too late. Time matters with cancer very, very much. With cancer, you have 1 or 2 shots, not more. That's the unfortunate truth.
Yeah.
Or you wait for a miracle, but sometimes that just comes by leaving the body.
Seen so many of the devotees who I love just leaving prematurely, as you say.
Very prematurely
unnecessarily
leaving.
leaving.
Then trying some quack methods or things that are helpful but not enough. Doing like it halfway, amateur-like cancer treatments. Cancer is serious stuff. You need to do it properly.
Right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.